Blackburn Rovers return to EFL Championship action this coming weekend as we head down to Ipswich Town, Portman Road, of course. Can we do the unthinkable? We're going to take a little look next. Giving another match preview. Look forward to Rovers' latest encounter in the Championship, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe and bang it. All things Rovers related, Championship related, world football related. We got it all here, boys. Under one roof. Of course, Rovers looking to bounce back and fast following a shocking defeat at home to Sunderland. Of course, the games are coming thick and fast. It's just never ending at the moment for Rovers, as of course this one is proven to be a bit of a tricky one. Of course, a lot of people seeing Ipswich doing the business, and they remain in the promotion discussion. We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. But let's get into it. A preview of the game. The games are just around the corner. Ipswich Town up against Blackburn Rovers. Let's take a little look at their, of course, the host, managed by Kieran McKenna, just 37 years old. I've got shits older than that guy. He's a baby. 2.2 points per match ratio for him. Is on a contract to 2025. But will he still be here at the end of the season? I mean that by, will he get swiped by another club? Of course, will they manage to keep a hold of him or not? Anyway, the most valuable player, according to a transfer market, is Brandon Williams, who I believe is on loan from Manchester United. I don't think it was a permanent deal. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Of course, take a look at their squad. 32 players with an average age of 25.5, 15 foreigners and 6 national team players. But let's take a look at those players then, shall we? Here we come, focusing on the defence. Haldaki's been the main man between the sticks these days. He might not be the official number one, as of course a familiar name is there. Christian Walton would probably be the number one, but I think he's going to have a hard time getting back into the squad if he's fit and raring to go. Tunzabi was signed, of course, after the old transfer window slam shot as a freebie, so I don't think we've yet to see him in action. Wolfenden at the back. Of course, a quality player with Williams on the left-hand side. Let's take a look at the midfield attack reinforcements there. Of course, big money spent on Jack Taylor in the summer from Peterborough. They've got Omari Hutchinson, who's been a revelation, and a familiar foe in Sam Morsey in defence. We remember him from his Wigan days. Hopefully, Travis has got his studs ready, because it's going to be a tasty encounter in midfield. Up top, another familiar name, George Hurst. Yes, he didn't manage to really rip it up for us when he was on loan. However, he went on loan to Ipswich, and of course, they made that deal a permanent success for them so far. But Connor Chaplin, Dane Scarlett, of course, from Spurs, and of course, the main man at the minute who's been scoring goals, Nathan Broadhead. Yeah, that's right. So we'll see. It's quite a broad selection of attacking options there for Ipswich Town, and at the minute they're doing A-OK. Let's take a look at the star players. Of course, Broadhead with 3 goals. Chapman's got 3. Dapper's got a couple as well, and then some other goals spread out amongst the others. But the star men of the show has been Leif Davis with a 7.5 average rating. Nathan Broadhead up there with a 7.44. Connor Chaplin with a 7.26, and of course the midfield crunch man Sam Morsey with a 7.20. That's of course a quick look at that. Let's take a look at, of course, some of the stats. So the average for each and every one of the Ipswich players is a 7.03 average, with 7 matches played so far. Scored 13 goals. It's nearly 2 a game. We'll talk about that shortly. Conceded 7. There's been 8 assists, of course. 1.9 goals scored on average by Ipswich thus far. They've hit the woodwork a couple of times, as of course they've had no red cards thus far, with a poor possession rate of 49.4. 4 clean sheets as well for Haldaki, and he's done the business. Okay, let's take a look at what's going ahead for Ipswich after this game. They are still in the Cup, taking on Wolves this coming Tuesday, so again, thick and fast. Then it's Huddersfield away before they enter the month of October with Hull City at Portman Road, Preston North End before the international break, of course, and then after that they'll take on Rotherham. All right, let's take a look at the resume then, shall we, for Ipswich Town, coming into this on the back of pretty faultless last few games, of course. They did stretch back way back to 26th of August with a defeat to Leeds United. That was at Portman Road, 7-goal thriller, but and at one stage they looked completely out of it, but they fought back to get within touching distance. A big 2-2 draw against Reading on the road in the Caterpillar Cup, of course, winning through on penalties to, of course, set them up with the game against Wolves. And then a 3-2 win over Cardiff, a 1-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday, and a 1-0 win over Southampton. If we can take anything from those last 3 games, of course, Ipswich winning all of them. They have been by 1-goal margin, so maybe Rovers can get an early goal, of course, make them work for it at the very least. So that's a little bit of optimism for Rovers heading into this. But what about the starting lineup then? I'm going to go for it here and have a look at it. So let's take a bloody where is it? There it is, of course. This is my starting lineup for Ipswich. We've got Haldaki between the sticks. We've got Williams, Burgess, Wolfenden and Clark. Another Clark. We've just done one of them. We've got Hutchison on the left. We've got Burns on the right. We've got Morsey, Chaplin, Taylor, and of course George Hurst up top. That's of course a look of the host here. But what about the visitors, of course? Let's talk about the Yellows. That's right, it is Rovers coming at you right here, right now, with JDT at the helm on a contract till 2025 with a 1.65 points per match ratio. Again, according to Transfermarkt, the most valuable player is Tyree Stolen, but of course we really know it's Adam Wharton. That's between you and I. 27 players on the books, 23.1 average is the age here, 9 foreigners and just 1 national team player as of right now. Of course, take a look at those players. Of course, we've got Walstadt pairs competing for the number 1 jersey. I think it might be time to switch up the goalkeepers there and give Walstadt a go. Even though the cup is around the corner, you will probably imagine he would play one of these games, either this one or the Cardiff one. So we'll see about that. Then, of course, into defence, of course, Rock at the back, Dom Hyam, got the likes of Hayden Carter, and Callum Britton's been running the show a little bit on the right-hand side of defence these days. Into midfield, we've got the likes of Hedges, we've got the likes of Adam Wharton, Smodic, of course, goal-scoring machine. We may just be a week away within seeing the Icelandic debut of Arne Sigurdsson, whether it's this match or whether it's the next match against Cardiff. I would probably say he might get on the bench for this game against Ipswich, and he might start the game against Cardiff if I'm going to be a predictor on that one. Of course, up top we've got Gallagher. He is out. Televic may get closer to some starts here. Ennis still out, so Leonard probably leading the charge with, of course, Mackenday providing some other options. Take a look at the goal scoring men then, shall we, for Rovers. Smonch with 4. Leonard's got 2, and I'm happy to see that, and I do expect him to get to double figures. It might be a long wait to get there to double figures, but he'll get there this season. Hedges, of course, up there as well, Mackenday and Gallagher with the 1. The star man so far has been Sammy Smodic with a 7.5 average. Hedges, Hyam, Britton and Wharton make up the top 5. Then, of course, some other familiar names in there. Tom Bloxham makes the list as well. Let's take a look at, of course, the stats. 6.97 average for Rovers. We need to get that back up to 7 or and beyond. We have played 7 matches, scored 9, conceded 12. So that's quite a high number, and Rovers do need to right that wrong and get Walstadt in between the sticks as well. 1.3 goals scored on average per game. We hit the woodwork 4 times in the course of those matches. We've had 1 red card so far, but we have a ball possession rate of 54.7 and just a 1 clean sheet to boot. Let's take a look at our resume heading into this then. Of course, not great recently. 3-1 loss to Sunderland. Prior to that, though, big 2-1 win over Middlesbrough. Of course, we also lost to Plymouth, picked up an 8-0 win over Harrogate and a 1-0 win over Watford. So we need to get that form back. Those were 2 away games, 2 massive away games. But of course, we did hit the shitters against Plymouth on the last time we were away. Of course, coming at you for Rovers in the future, we do have Cardiff in the Cup. Then we have Leicester. Then we have both of those games are home games, and both of those games are one of them's on Sky Sports. Then, of course, we take on Coventry at their place, QPR at their place in another busy week before the international break comes at you. And then, of course, we take on Cardiff yet again at Ewood Park. So a busy agenda for Rovers heading into the month of October. Well, that's, of course, around the store. Let's take a look at my expected lineup then for this one. I'm going to go Walstadt. I'm going to go all out at it. We've got Pickering at left back, Dom Hyam, Carter and Britton, Wharton, Smodic, Travis. I think they picked themselves. Then it's up here. Then it's the question marks. Is Sigurdsson good enough to start? Will Mackenday get ahead of him? Will Moran get that left-hand side spot? I thought Moran was all right. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I just can't find him in the fucking database. That's why Mackenday's up there. So you probably will get Moran on the left-hand side, Hedges on the right, and Leonard up top. Again, they were 60-minute players. They ran out of steam towards the end as they tried to get something out of this. I do feel that this game will be a little less gun-ho and try to kind of keep the stamina going deeper into the match instead of just kind of shitting the bed by the 60-minute mark. Let's take a look at the match then itself in recent history. Rovers, of course, have played Ipswich. This is actually at Portman Road, so it's not great. It's not a great place to go in the last 6 matches, stretching all the way back to 2012. We haven't won in the last 6. We need to change that. We need to rectify that. However, if we take some positives, last time we played them was in the Championship. It was back in August 2018. It was a 2-2 draw. Dak and Graham on the score sheet. Gwynne Edwards and Taylor Dunn on the score sheet for Ipswich. Would you Adam and Eve it? Bloody hell. But yeah, there's been some ropey scorers on here. We've got Hope Akpan on here. We've got Ben Marshall, Colin Kazim Richards. It's screaming out for Adam Wharton banger on this one. Tom Lawrence as well scoring for them. Daryl Murphy had a few as well. So Jason Lowe with a big fat OG. So some real stonking we need to change this. So this is the games at Portman Road. It doesn't look good. Take a look at, of course, the match in all its glory then. Of course, both home and away. Much better reading for Rovers. Over the last 6, we've won 2, they've won 2, and there's been 2 draws as well. The last time we actually played each other was actually at Ewood Park. It was a big 2-0 win. With Joe Nuttall on the score sheet. Goodness gracious me. So, yeah. So it's a bit more even, Stevens. A bit more easy to swallow that bad boy. But it's going to be tricky. I'm not going to lie. Let's take a look at, of course, the home form up against the away form here. Of course, Ipswich on the left-hand side. Just the 1 defeat so far. Been a lot of goals scored at home. They've scored, 10 goals in the last 4 matches. We have scored in all competitions and all venues. We've scored 11 goals on the road. So maybe, just maybe, the secret is there to be had. Let's take a look at what we can expect from this game. Let's take a look at Ipswich strengths heading into this. Coming back from losing positions, creating scoring chances, finishing scoring chances, attacking down the wings, creating long shot opportunities, creating chances through balls, chances through individual skills, stealing the ball from the opposition, and defending set pieces. And their weaknesses, guess what? There are no weaknesses. Oh my gosh, style of play though. Long shots, attacking through the middle. Of course, they're very aggressive, and opponents also like to play aggressively against them. They also have a consistent first 11. Rovers, their strengths, counter-attacks, long shot opportunities, chances through individual skill, and scoring chances. Our weaknesses, scoring chances or avoiding offside things, defending skillful players, counter-attack set pieces, avoiding fouling in dangerous areas, and we're very, very weak with defending against long shots and stopping opponents from creating chances. Get Wildstad in between the sticks. Our style of play is possession football and short, intricate, neat and tidy passes. Our forecast says Ipswich will create many scoring chances. They'll score from a long shot, and they'll score as a result of some individual skill. As for, of course, a broader picture for these two sides, as you can see, Ipswich's form is pretty incredible. Just 1 defeat over the last 10 games, including some friendlies. Rovers, hopscotching, a bit of this, a bit of that, just like last year. Sometimes good, sometimes shit. 3 defeats in the last 7 games. But of course, the value of our team, €52.5 million compared to 32.18. We have an e-market value of 1.94, and of course, compared to the 1.11. A younger age as well. They have more international players across the spectrums, but it doesn't matter about that. It matters about the scoreline at the end of the day. So the grander picture then, 20 matches played since 1993. We have 8 wins. This is where it all comes down for Rovers. 8 wins for us, 4 wins for bloody Ipswich, 8 draws, of course. Their biggest win, 2-0 win. They've scored 21 goals in those 20 games, 1.05 goals a game ratio. Rovers on the flip, 4-1 win, our biggest at Ipswich, 29 goals scored in those 20 games, 1.45 goals a game ratio. We are on 50% form right now. That's 1-3, lost 3. We are sitting smack dab in the middle of the table. 12th in the league, 10 points on the board. Ipswich are in second, 83% form for them, winning 4 on the bounce, 18 points on the board as well. The bookies, 10-7 on for Ipswich. They're going for them. 3-1 is the draw, and 50-4 is your away win, of course. I'll tell you my thoughts and my picks in a second. This is, of course, what's going to happen elsewhere across the division. We've got Birmingham against QPR. That's, of course, Friday night. Get in amongst it there. Leeds United against Watford. They have West Brom, Millwall, Leicester City against Bristol City, Swansea, Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham against Preston, Middlesbrough against Southampton. We've got Plymouth Norwich. We have Stoke Hull City, Sunderland Cardiff. That's on Sunday, as is the Stoke Hull game. And then Coventry against Huddersfield. That's on a Monday night. But of course, all eyes will be at Portman Road as Ipswich take on bloody Blackburn Rovers, of course. Let's take a look at the table, as you can see, in all its glory. Ipswich are in third. They could go top with a win. Rovers could actually go up as high as fourth and be within touching distance of those top 2 spots if we could get a result our way. And of course, quick look at the goal scoring charts. Jack Clark running away with it with 5 goals thus far. Gordon's up there with 5 as well. Ipswich Town do not have a top goal scorer as of the moment, but that, of course, could change quite drastically. They do have an assist maker in Davies with a couple of assists so far. And of course, the average rating player at the moment is Sarah with 7.86. Clark, Sargent, Somerville, and Dewsbury Hall are the main men at the moment. But of course, it all boils down to this, guys. Prediction for this one. A lot of people are going to back the Ipswich, going to back the home from here. I believe it. I believe in my boys. I believe that we're going to get something out of this. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. It might not be pretty, might not be effective, but I think we need a response from that shambles against Sunderland. And if we can play a little bit, save the good stuff at the end and snatch something, break a little Ipswich Town hearts and get something out of it, that'd be absolutely fantastic start to the week, because we do have a cup game, of course, which could lead to something crazy. But anyway, that's it, guys. Subscribe, thumbs up, hit the little bell, of course, non-stop shop all the way through. I don't think we'll have a vlog on this one. It's a little bit too far to travel for the boys, but we'll see. You never know. There are some Rovers fans down that neck of the woods that might make the trip, but we'll see about that. But until then, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the little bell, of course. Until then, guys and gals, we'll see you later.